Have you ever wondered why the rich are rich, why the poor are poor, and why we have a middle class? You may well think it's unfair. You may well think that you've been prejudiced. The problem is actually that it is fair, and it's all based on habits. What I'd like to do is spend a few minutes just going through the habits that would take you from where you are now to being a lot more successful, to having a lot more money, and to living a different life. What it requires, though, is that you change your own habits in money and in how you spend it and how you look at it. Most people make the mistake of thinking that money equals wealth, and it doesn't. Rich people have understood what wealth actually is, and I would like to spend some time a little bit later talking that through. To start with, what I would like to do is I would like to outline the key points of how the poor and the middle class spend their money and why that now becomes a problem. You can look at it, you can look at the way you spend money, and then you can see whether that problem is one that is yours. Your poor and the middle class, just roughly defined, are those people who earn a living. They trade their time for money. They're not able to multiply it. There's no time leverage factor, no ability to make that grow any bigger. They simply have to receive whatever money they can get in trading their time or their skills for money. The problem with that now is that what money they get in, instead of spending that, purchasing a way of earning an additional income, they use that to purchase assets or things rather, that look like they will be successful. So for example, a lot of people will go and buy a motor car in order to look successful. What they do to get that motor car is they will now take out a loan, buy it on HP. That means that every month they're going to be paying money out of their income in order to be able to have an asset. Only it's not really an asset, it's now a liability. If that person was to lose his job or her job, they would now have something they couldn't afford that they would have to sell, and in most cases now they would be able to sell that lower than the amount still outstanding in order to pay back what's owed on the motor car. In other words, it's not an asset. It's not something that's actually going to benefit them. It's something that is a noose around their neck. Society in today pushes all of us to have. We live in a very much a have society. We live in a society also that is very much bling orientated. So what assets you own, supposedly to other people, show how successful you are. The problem with that is that that's not the case. 90 to 95% of all professionals around the world are no more than 2 months away from bankruptcy. If they were to lose their job, what they've done is they've bought a house, a car, a boat, and various other things on hire purchase. The moment they do not have a job in order to be able to pay it back again, they will lose everything they have. In other words, there's no wealth behind it. So what we need to do is start by understanding that wealth is not the amount of money that comes in. Wealth is what you use that money to buy in order to generate more money. For example, if you look at those who are truly wealthy, what they've done with their money is they've taken what money they have, they've by and large reinvested the money they get to earn more money, to reinvest it, to earn more money, to reinvest it, to earn more money. They've learned a principle called delayed gratification. And delayed gratification is one of the most important principles for you to learn. They've also learned a principle called savings, where they will put a portion of their money into reinvestment and not touch it. The third principle that they've learned is they've learned that you buy luxuries out of excess money. You don't buy luxuries out of your straight capital. You use what your capital generates to start buying your luxuries. Now, luxuries are things like your cars, all the things that make you look good, all of your expensive styler fashion watches. That sort of thing doesn't bring you in any more income. It doesn't make you wealthy. It doesn't bring anything that will better your life. So how do we change that? Let's follow what the rich do. I would like to tell you the story of a gentleman who, in my younger years, really influenced the way that I thought. His name was Mr. Lorenzo. He owned a bus service and a hotel. He'd started out as a young boy, living in poverty, went to a soccer match one day and saw a number of people very hungry and very thirsty. He had an orange with him, and in the heat everybody was trying to get his orange. Very cleverly, what he did was he cut the orange into 4 and he sold each quarter, took the money, bought a pocket of oranges, came back into the stadium, cut the rest into quarters, sold those, made more money. For some time he used to do this every weekend. He would then save that money, and that was his startup capital to start Lorenzo Bus Services. What he learned was he learned the power of delayed gratification and the power of building small piece by small piece to gain great success. How does this then work for you, and how do you change? If you are in a position where you're trading your time for money, you're not getting any further ahead, you're now getting to the point where in order to keep up with your next door neighbors and to look the part that you want to, you're slowly getting further and further into debt. Stop. What you need to do now is get rid of all the bling. Use that money to start putting into things that will start to make money. Use the principle that Mr. Lorenzo had started, where what he had in his hand, he turned into something that he could make a small profit from. He used that to then go out, turn something else into a small profit, and build each of those as he went along, until eventually he had some very powerful businesses. The same thing happens to you. So what I would suggest you do is look at what you have. See if there are things that you can sell to generate money. Find a way to invest that into something that will now produce a residual income that you don't have to go out and trade time for. Then, when your money does start coming in, live on 70% of your net income, reinvest 20% back into your business, and give away 10% of your net income. That way, you will start to create a fund to build businesses from that eventually will give you an income not related to your time, that will allow you to create a success of your life. I hope this has helped you. If you would like to look at a business opportunity that has done exactly that for us, given us an additional residual income greater than we ever thought it would do, and completely changed our lives, I would invite you to visit the website noted in the sign at the end of this video. Visit that website, please. Have a look at the business. If you're interested in the business, please fill in the contact us details and we will get back to you. Thank you, and I hope this has helped.